I want to tell you something that nobody told me when I was learning. Nobody said, "This is supposed to feel hard." Nobody said, "The confusion you feel right now, that is not a sign that something is wrong with you. That is a sign that something is changing inside you." And because nobody said it, I thought I was broken. I thought everyone else was finding it easy, and I was the only one struggling. I thought maybe I just did not have the right kind of brain for languages. I was wrong. And if you have ever felt that way, you are wrong too, in the best possible way. Welcome to English Unlocked. I am Emma, and today I want to talk about something that I think every English learner needs to hear. Not once, but many times until it actually lands. Thinking in English feels hard at first, not a little hard, really hard. And that is completely normal. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something right now. Does thinking in English feel uncomfortable for you? Write one word in the comments below. Uncomfortable, exhausting, strange. Whatever is true for you. I read every single one. Let me tell you about bicycles. Do you remember the first time you tried to ride a bicycle? Maybe you were a child. Maybe someone held the back of the seat to keep you steady. And then they let go. And you wobbled. Maybe you fell. Maybe you felt embarrassed. And for a moment, maybe a long moment, you thought, "I cannot do this. Other people can do this, but not me." But here is the thing about wobbling on a bicycle. It is not a sign that you are failing. It is physics. It is what happens when your body is learning a new kind of balance. Your brain is building something it has never built before. A new map, a new set of instructions, a new automatic response. And while it is building, you wobble. Thinking in English is exactly like this. Right now, when you try to think in English, your brain wobbles. Words disappear. Sentences feel slow. You reach for an idea and it comes back to you in your own language, and then you have to carry it all the way across to English. And by the time you get there, the moment is already over. That wobbling is not failure. It is construction. Your brain is building something it has never built before. Why does it feel so hard? Why does the brain resist so much at the beginning? I am going to explain this to you. Not in a complicated scientific way, but in a way that I think will actually help. Your brain loves efficiency. It is always looking for the fastest route. And the fastest route for most of your life has been your native language. Every time you had a thought, any thought, it went through that same fast route. That route is like a wide, smooth road. You have been driving on it your whole life. You do not even think about it. You just go. English, at the beginning, is not a road. It is a field, long grass, no path. Every time you try to walk through it, you have to push through the resistance, find your own way, create your own route. It is slow. It is tiring. And your brain, which loves efficiency, remember, keeps saying, "There is a faster way, just go back to the road." This is why thinking in English feels like fighting yourself. Because in a way, you are. You are asking your brain to leave the comfortable road and walk through the field. And the brain does not like that. Not at first. But here is what the brain does not tell you. Every time you walk through that field, the grass gets a little flatter. The path gets a little clearer. And if you keep walking, not perfectly, not without getting lost sometimes, But keep walking. One day you will look down and realize there is a road there now. A real road. Smooth. Easy. Fast. That is what fluency is. Not talent. Not a gift. A road that you built. One walk at a time. I want to tell you about Amara. Amara is from Lagos. She is 34 years old, a project manager, sharp and funny and deeply kind. She contacted me 7 months ago and said something that stayed with me for a long time. She said, "Emma, I speak perfect English in my head, but the moment I know someone is listening, everything stops." Everything stops. We started working together, and in our first session, I asked her to describe her apartment to me. In English, out loud, right then. Simple things, what she could see from where she was sitting. She went quiet for a moment. Then she said slowly, "There is a window. The light is coming in. It is afternoon light." She stopped. She said, "I am sorry. That was terrible." I said, "Amara, that was perfect." She laughed a little. Nervous laugh. The kind of laugh that is really a question. "It felt terrible," she said. "I know," I said. "But feeling terrible and being terrible are two very different things. What you just did, describing that window, that light, that afternoon, your brain did that without going through a translation first. It was slow. It wobbled. But it was direct." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I never thought about the difference between feeling wrong and being wrong." That sentence. I have thought about it many times since. Because this is the thing that holds so many learners back. Not the actual difficulty of thinking in English, but the feeling of difficulty and what they decide that feeling means. When it feels hard, most people think, this is a sign that I cannot do it. But the truth is almost the opposite. When it feels hard, that is a sign that you are doing it. The hardness is the construction. The discomfort is the new road being built. I want to pause here. If Amara's story sounds familiar, if you have ever spoken English out loud and immediately thought, that was terrible, when it was actually just new, right tail low, you are not alone, and that feeling is not the truth about you. So, what do you actually do with this? How do you push through? There is one thing I told Amara, and I want to tell it to you now. Stop trying to feel comfortable before you speak. I know that sounds wrong. I know everything in you wants to feel ready first, wants to feel fluent before you actually try to be fluent. But comfort does not come before the practice. It comes from the practice. You cannot wait for the wobbling to stop before you get on the bicycle. The wobbling stops because you get on the bicycle. So, what does this look like in real life? For Amara, we started with something very small. Every morning before she looked at her phone, she described out loud what she could see. 3 sentences. Not perfect sentences, not impressive sentences, just true sentences. What the light looked like, what she could hear, how she felt that morning. At first, it felt strange. She told me it felt like talking to herself in a foreign language, which, she pointed out with a smile, is exactly what it was. But after 10 days, something shifted. She sent me a message. She said, "Emma, I was in a meeting today. My director asked me a question in English. Unexpected, no time to prepare. And I answered. Not perfectly, but I answered. And while I was answering, I did not feel the stop. The stop did not come. She paused in the message. Then she said, I think the field has a path now. The field has a path now. 7 months later, Amara runs weekly calls with international partners. In English, without a script. She still makes mistakes. She still occasionally reaches for a word that is not immediately there. But the stop, that full, terrifying, total stop, has not come back. Because she built the road. I want to end today with the thing I said at the beginning. The thing nobody told me when I was learning. This is supposed to feel hard. Not forever. Not in the same way. But at the beginning, yes. The confusion, the slowness, the reaching for words that are not quite there yet. This is what building sounds like. This is what new neural pathways feel like from the inside. This is what it is like to be on a bicycle before your body has learned how to balance. And here is the question I want to leave you with today. Not a question about English, a question about you. Think about something you do easily now. Something that you do not even have to think about. That was once very difficult. Maybe it was driving. Maybe it was cooking. Maybe it was a skill at work that took you a long time to feel confident in. Were you bad at that thing? Or were you just at the beginning? Because you are at the beginning with this. Not at the end. Not in the middle. At the beginning, which means everything that comes next is still possible. The bicycle is waiting. You are already on it. And yes, you are wobbling, but you are moving. That is not something to fix. That is something to celebrate. I am Emma. This episode is completed, and in our next lesson, we go further.